All right, we had a greater conversation where we get some things off of our chest. I say it all the time, every week. Tomorrow's not promised. Cuss the people out today. Josh, is there something you want to get off of your chest?
Trump's administration. I'm not going to go down a full rabbit hole, but there are so many things that are just so bad.
Yeah, every week.
The Elon Musk debacle. Stop begging me to help you, rich man. Them Teslas are, them Cybertrucks are falling apart.
Yeah.
Them dealerships are getting bombed, and rightfully so.
Yeah, which probably inside job. Well,
Probably. Yeah. The defense secretary added an Atlantic journalist to a war. First of all, why are you texting war secrets?
Right, war secrets 2 hours before an attack.
Yep, I just wrote an article about it, but then you accidentally added it. And I love the fact you said, no, I'm going to sit right here in this group. I ain't asking no questions. Let me get all this tea, and then let me write an article about it. Yeah. But like, it just proves the incompetence of this administration. And I want to, like, as much as I want to be like, y'all gonna F around and find out, we're also living in this world.
Yeah.
So in some ways, it's going to find its way to, even if it's not major, it's going to impact us too. And it's like, we could have avoided this back in 2016 with Hillary. Y'all was hyped on that woman's emails. And this, this is what y'all eventually settle for. Like, you know what I'm saying? So like the misogyny and the racism is just so apparent, seeing how unqualified, like, this man signed an executive order to demolish the Department of Education. He did it.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm sure there's some lawsuits coming that's going to try to turn it around, but like, he did it.
Yeah.
That's what y'all voted for.
Yeah.
And it's just, I don't even know that I have a rant other than I'm just like, I'm tired. Because like you said, Brian, it seems like every day.
Yeah,
it's like we don't get we are in a walk-in Tubi episode. It's like Zeus Network. The United States is Zeus Network.
Yeah. I'm gonna add, are you done?
Yeah, I'm done.
So I'm gonna add to that is the administration, the hypocrisy and the irony of it all. They fought against DEI because they wanted to void what they considered non-merit based opportunities or jobs not being given based off of sex and gender and sexual orientation. And we're seeing what that is like right now.
And these mediocre white men out here failing.
Right. Like, not merit is solely based on gender
and who you know.
And who you know. It's not merit based at all. And you fired all these folks who you considered, because the thing is, in order for something to work, you got to demonize it. If you demonize it enough, then people are like, yeah, that's wrong. It's wrong. It's wrong. It's wrong. It's wrong. When in actuality, it was right. It was right. It was right. It was right. It's right. But yeah, that's it.
I want to. Since you're there, you made me think about something that's been irritating me as a DEI practitioner.
Yeah.
Even though we changed our name internally, I am still a DEI practitioner. I'm really also sick of black folk who are saying, we up here mad about stuff with DEI when, it impacted us the least. We got impacted the least. That is such a loaded statement that is not inaccurate because data supports that, but it fuels a level of people to stop caring about policies and procedures and rules and regulations that actually does. Because here's what happens. Black people may have got hired in the grand scheme of things, right? According to a DEI policy. But it doesn't mean that black folk in whole did not benefit. Here's how. When Tabitha Brown got into Target, it kicked down the door for other black entrepreneurs to get into Target. And if they didn't get into Target, Tabitha Brown's platform now with her Fridays with Tab and Chance is now giving so much more. It's the ripple effect.
Yeah.
When Thurgood Marshall got on the board, on the Supreme Court, it opened the door for black judges to have federal appointees across the nation.
Yeah.
What Biden did before he got out there and appoint all these black women judges, it may not have been, like, they're not DEI hires, so them women were qualified. But seeking to have intentional diversity and equity on the bench makes it possible for Jasmine Crockett. Makes it possible for, like, Shirley Chisholm made it possible for Jasmine Crockett, right? Like, these are the things that affirmative action and laws against segregation and DEI, that's what it does. It provides access, maybe for a few, like in the big stages, but it opens up the possibilities for so many other of us to do these things. And so when you take away things like, you're saying, oh, they mad at Target for DEI and it didn't really impact us. I hear people saying that, but when I'm seeing people like our girl Kiari Money, who's on the podcast with Like You Cards, she just posted, bro, she got 20,000 of those games sitting in a warehouse because they kicked her out of Target because of that.
Mm-hmm.
So when you say stuff, so you minimize the impact that it's having on Black entrepreneurs, and we gotta stop that. We gotta stop taking sound bites from one article. This goes back to the stuff on the internet, stealing things, and thinking we know everything about everything because we read one line or we talked to one person, and that sounds cool. But then we're not looking at the holistic picture of it. Yes, God is on the throne. Yes, people have survived segregation and civil rights before, but it doesn't change the fact there are real people hurt. I got colleagues who have lost their jobs.
Yeah.
So it ain't just impacting who got hired. People are in these. I'm grateful to be in an organization that, like, even if we did double down on DEI, like housing justice is is DEI work, right? It is diversity, equity, inclusion, right? At its core. But I got folk who's like the CEO of Ben & Jerry's just got fired last week. What's going to happen to all them folk who like think and act and respond like him? You know what I'm saying? Like our boy, I don't know what's going to happen with Rod and them and Black and Bold Coffee. But what happens to their Ben & Jerry's partnership? It is more than just
Target.
What it is more than that one little stat that show, oh, Black people got hired, blah, 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 blah. What happens to that high school student who goes to that all Black high school that Harvard never went to, and now Harvard stopped going because they don't have a Black recruiting program anymore?
Yeah.
Like,
all the military folks who
exactly
they're not recruiting at certain HBCUs anymore. Yeah.
But I'm saying it on Black people because it's the argument where it impacted us the least. We got hired the least. Like that, I'm not going to argue with data, but we're manipulating the data to tell a story to benefit a narrative so that we can be like, it don't matter. We going to do Black folk going to do our thing. We're resilient. We make something out of nothing. You know, we do the whole Clark Atlanta, find a way to make one, but it doesn't change the fact that removing DEI policies has negative impacts holistically on Black people and people of color. So we got to stop taking data to fulfill a narrative. That's to me, that's part of that fake woke. You loud and you wrong.
Can I add something to that? And just because it didn't benefit us the greatest, did it benefit us? You know what I'm saying? Like, did it work to our detriment? Right. And on top of that, and then if you eliminate these things, what are the negative consequences? So you're talking about like, it's not, we didn't benefit from it the most, but on the flip side, now is it going to be to our detriment? You know what I'm saying? To a certain degree. Like, so that's the thing. We got to balance the things out to where like, would you rather something be in place that maybe it benefited us, but didn't benefit us to the maximum of like another culture or whatever? Or now they remove it and now it hurts us.
It hurts us.
You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying?
There's nuance there.
It hurts, and and it's selfish to think that way. Just because you ain't been impacted don't mean that these thousands of Black people. Do you know what 5% of 300 million is? When you say stuff like, oh, it benefited 5% of Black people, it's 300 some odd million people, give or take, in the United States. There's 12, 13, 14% of us are Black. That's a large percentage. And then so 3%, that's a people.
And I mean, what if it doesn't help anybody?
And and what if and not to say that Tabitha Brown is like the gold star, but what if there was no Tabitha Brown? Those brands that she supported, those people on her teams, like none of them have jobs. None of them have exposure. None of them, and not to say they couldn't have success, but they wouldn't have had the access in the same way. And that's what DEI is about. And what about your veteran cousin? What about your gay cousin? I don't care whether you agree or not that they're gay or not. They need a home. They need health care. Like
they need to not be discriminated against.
They need to be treated as the humans that they are, regardless of your philosophical or religious differences. And these things impact their humanity. Like we're talking about laws and stuff that impact humanity, not just like your regular decision to go up to the grocery store. It impacts humanity. What about the folk who live in the small towns? They ain't got nothing but a Walmart. You want them not to eat, but they have to wrestle with these challenges now. Yeah, and all the Black folk who work at Target, the whole DEI department of Target, Their leader may not have been black. I don't remember who the leader was, but that's a whole department, the whole supply diversity team.
Yeah, and what about like stuff like ERGs and stuff like that? Like now they kind of focus on making sure that you have spaces to kind of.
I am the co-lead for our black ERG, and we have to change our language to say, "Hey, it's hosted by BEST because it's Black Employee Success Team, but it's open to everybody. So if y'all want to come, and that, but it changes. We talk about with the cookout. It changes it disrupts the safe space. Not to say that some folk won't come, but everybody don't mean our safe space well. And now you know what I'm saying? So like it changed the game. I had to add that in when you said something about the DEI hires and stuff like that, because they the real DEI hires. They're the people who are legit, not in the way that you weaponize it, right? Yeah. They're the real DEI hires in that negative context because they're not qualified at all. Yeah. Black folk already got to work 5 times as hard. We're usually more qualified than anybody in the room. Yeah. And our resumes run circles around people.
Yeah. And if we're in a role, we're good at what we do.
Because we had to prove so much just to get middle management. Yeah. So if we made it to like executive level, you can't see me.
Right.
Get out of here. Anyway, that was another episode. Y'all I was gonna try to be chill. That was another episode of the Jigsaw Podcast. Thank you so much for listening, for joining, and all the things. Love y'all, appreciate y'all. And thank you for all you do to support and push us. Brian?
Yeah, thank you again. We're good without you. We'll be better. We're good without you, but we're even better with you. So continue to like, subscribe, share all the things. So follow us on social media, or check us out on social media. We're on the Jigsaw Podcast on all places. All of Josh, I am Josh Roswell. I am Brian Hare. On the things and those email address, askthejigsaw@gmail.com. Before we head out, Josh, let the people know what they need to do.
All you can do is what you can while you can, the very best ways that you can. But in all you're doing, please, please, please don't get caught with your work undone. Love y'all. Peace.
All right. Peace.